all trucks on the road stop moving, stop taking freight, and strike. We want to see rates change, but that will never happen.
Get it, 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 hey, get it, get it.
What's going on, everybody? Chase McFadden, just LLC and Truckers Hustle, and I am sorry about the sound quality in advance. I'm definitely working on it, but I did not want to delay this video any further. This one is basically a discussion on what truck drivers make. Okay, a lot of everybody out there is trying to figure out if they want to get into trucking. Is it going to be worth getting into it? Is it feasible to get into it as an owner operator, or even to get into it as a company driver? Well, after about, say, 8 years of being an owner operator, looking at the different price points and things like that, as a step deck driver or open platform hauler versus van haulers and things like that, the prices and pricing points for freight has drastically shifted over the past several years. All right, where they started off low, they went up high, then they plateaued for a while, then they came back down. But to give you an idea of where the market for trucking is right now, in a sense of what they take home, or what the company would take home, or what the company would make in a matter of about a month to a week to a month to a year. All right, and then breaking everything down for the owner operator for how much they will actually take home versus how much the company actually makes. All right, so this information that I'm actually going to put out, I'm either going to be hated for it or I'm going to be loved for it. But as you know, I'm here for the trucker, I'm here for the owner operator, I'm here for the company driver as well, because at the end of the day, it's us who stay out here over the road for extended amounts of time and unable to go home and see our families for a while. So yes, the pay is a very big deal to us and for us. All right, but I'm gonna go ahead and kind of jump right into it. Okay, so this PowerPoint, when I put this together, I had in mind that this was the very low average. Okay, so being a very low average, where you take and you earn, or the company will earn $5,000 per week at 4 weeks and a month, obviously, that brings the business to $20,000 of gross revenue for the month. Okay, now if you do the math on that for the year, that's $240,000. Now your expenses, fixed expenses, they're not going to change. Okay, they're going to remain the same throughout the time that you actually have that expense or that bill. Your fixed variable expenses are things that are contingent on your behavior, your actions, what you do on the road. So like insurance, for example, your rate may be one thing for several months until you get into an accident or a wreck or something like that. Then when you get into that wreck, your premium is either going to go up or it's going to go down. It's going to do something. 9 times out of 10, it's going to go up, even if you're found not at fault. Okay. Now, variable expenses are going to be expenses that change on a regular basis due to the economy or environmental factors, things like that. So like fuel prices is a very good example of that. You might spend per week $1,800 for, say, the month of March, and then come July you might spend say $2,000 a week for that month, and you know that equals out to $8,000. That's $8,000 versus another number I didn't do the math on for this example, but that's your variable expense. They're not going to be the same. All right, now breaking out and getting into expenses, let's remind ourselves that $20,000 is the gross revenue for that month. You take $8,000 in monthly fuel, $3,200 in monthly insurance, which I will tell you is very high. Okay, but that's a good number to start with for somebody that's coming into trucking, decide they want to become an owner operator with their own authority, and they go through a company like a big name company or something like that, and they go and get their quote for, through them, and try to like bundle everything. Okay, which is not something that's really recommended when it comes to business expenses versus your personal. All right, but I digress. So $3,200 for your monthly insurance. Say you got a new truck, a brand new truck, that's a $3,000 monthly truck payment, which is a little on the high side, but it's not it's not a rare thing to see. Okay, And then you have $600 for light maintenance, okay? That is preventative maintenance. You see that little asterisk in the bottom right hand corner? That's light maintenance. That is your oil change, your PM. You take your truck to either Love's or Pilot, TA, one of the truck stops that will offer a preventative maintenance service, and that price is going to range anywhere, honestly, from about $400 up to $600. All right, that's typical. So that is an example of like a fixed variable expense. It's fixed if you go to the same or a consistent shop. It's variable if you go one shop this month, and then next month you go to a different shop. All right. You add all of that up, you're gonna come up to $14,800. That's how much out of that $20,000 is gonna go back to that truck, whether you really like it or not, okay? After expenses again, we're gonna go ahead and say $5,200 is what you're making after your monthly expenses come out. That's $5,200 out of that $20,000, okay? Now, you do the math on that for the year. That's $177,600 for the year, and you come out with $62,400 after expenses. Now what? Now, the right answer is this. Out of that $5,200, you should already be at this point where you have a business checking or savings account established, and you're funneling this money in a certain kind of way. Because remember that $5,200 still belongs to the business, okay? You haven't really paid yourself yet. This is the smart way to do this, all right? Now, if you look at your maintenance and escrow account, you should have one of those set up, and a minimum of 10% of what that company has made or what that truck has made for the month, and I would recommend putting that away into an escrow account. All right, now when you factor the escrow based off of a weekly revenue, right? Weekly revenue of say $5,200, that is going to bring that number down to $4,680. Okay, that $4,680 is now what you're looking at left over. But let's not forget, you still have to set money aside for taxes, your IFTA tax, your 2290 HVUT, your federal tax, your state tax, things like that. Okay, it's very important to remember that. All right, now when you start getting into paying yourself and you want to look at like the tax bracket and things like that, based off of a weekly revenue of $4,680 for 12 months, above $47,150, that's where that tax rate is assessed at 22%. Now below that number, okay, $47,149, below that number and lower, you fall into the 12% tax bracket. All right, now I know I'm throwing a lot of numbers at y'all right now, but those are important numbers because you can also use those to really base how much you're either going to take home as an owner operator, or how much you're going to pay that driver that's driving for you. Okay, I'm not here to tell anybody how to run their business. I can definitely make some strong recommendations as to what should be done versus what shouldn't be done, what should be avoided, things like that. But the main key here, folks, is yes, your company can make, after it's all said and done, you take your 10% out for your escrow, you take your maintenance costs out and everything like that for the year, that company will make $56,160. All right, but you still have to look at the taxes and how much you're gonna expect to spend for like IFTA, HVUT, and when it comes to federal and state, that's gonna be out of your pocket as the as either a 1099 employee or W-2 employee, however you want to classify yourself. That's when it comes to how much truck drivers make, folks. That's what it comes down to. All right, that company is gonna make on it, and again, this is the low average. All right, very low average, and right now it's really not even enough to survive on. All right, that's why a lot of the companies are actually able to keep themselves in business, because hey, maybe they've been so well established to where they can make certain sacrifices to a certain extent. Okay, so like your big time companies, I really shouldn't be dropping names or anything like that, but I mean, you pick a company. If you're out and about and you're not like a couch potato or anything like that, and you actually get out and you see different trucks, use them as an example. Okay, but whether they are so well established they can afford to either take losses at a certain point and pay their drivers a certain rate, that's their business. Okay, but for someone starting out, new in the game, new in the industry, new in the business, these are the things that you really have to consider. All right, and if you're going to have a company and you're going to have drivers driving for you, I mean, they're going to want to get paid, man. They're going to want to get paid, and you're going to have to figure out that balance of how much do I pay them versus how much I put away into my escrow account. Now, out of all of these numbers that I showed you, the average driver is probably making about 25% of things. So $20,000, 25% of that is $5,000 a month. That is on the high end. Now, 5,200 is what I said, right? 5,200 is what we looked at for the weekly revenue after expenses had come out. Whoever you're paying that money to is going to be liable for the taxes. Okay, and that's based off of their income at that point. All right, so you take that $5,200 per week and you're taking all of the math out of that, the money for the maintenance and the escrow account. That driver is not going to make that much money. They're probably only going to make maybe $4,500 a month. All right, that is the average right now, folks. That is the average. That's about how much people are going to be taking home as a company driver, even as an owner operator. All right, so in short, trucking might not be worth it right now, and it's hard to say, man. That's hard to. I'm in my truck right now. It's hard to say something like that. It's hard to say that trucking might not be worth it when it's all that you, I'm not going to say all that you know, but it's for the moment, it might be all that you have. And you're away from home, you're away from your family, and it's hard to eat healthy, okay? And if you're running for a company, guess what? Hey, we got a load for you to take this week. And that week, you might not even pull over $600-700. That is what trucking looks like right now. That is what trucking looks like today. All right, and it sucks, man. It really does. But it is what it is. And I've told people before, the reason why the rates are the way that they are right now is because there are people out there accepting freight at a low rate. Okay, it's an undercutting game. It's an undercutting and underbidding game, where you take a sector of the industry, and you know that freight's going for like say $10 a mile, okay, and they're getting paid that money, and you know that company that's paying that money to that truck driver or that owner operator said, well, this is getting kind of expensive, but it is what it is. All it takes is the right or wrong person to hear somebody say that out their mouth, and they're gonna say, okay, well, if you're paying them $10 a mile, I'll take it for $5. Oh, well, you'll take it for $5, I'll give it to you for $5 a mile. Then the next person, $5 for him, $2.50, I'll take it for $2.50. Oh, well, $2.50, and then it goes on, it carries on, and it continues. All right, that's what has happened to trucking. That is what is continuing to happen to trucking. And yeah, we could blame it on the economy, we could blame it on the election and everything like that, but that's not it. All right, that's not it. And everybody, I'm not the type of person to go and sit in truck stops and everything like that. Truck stops used to have these hot happening and popping lounges, man, where truckers would go in and sit and be either complaining or talking about the freight that they hold for the day or the freight they hold for the week or the month or whatever. And you know, they would carry on with this kind of thing and they would complain about it. Well, the only solution is if every truck stopped pulling freight for one day. One day is all it would. 24 hours is what it would take for the shippers or the people paying the money to the drivers to say, oh, well, why are they not? Oh, well, it's because the freight's the freight rates are too low. And then that would spark a change, okay? But it's not going to be a change that's effective. So you take 24 hours and you transition that into 48 hours, 2 days. Oh, well, it's starting to get serious. That 2 days becomes a week. The country stops functioning. Really, the country stopped functioning after about 24 hours because you started digging into reserves, okay? But that's the only solution right now. All trucks on the road, stop moving, stop taking freight, and strike. That's really about it. All right, if we want to see rates change. But that will never happen. That will never happen because there's too many drivers out here afraid to do it. I could go into that so much deeper, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off. Like I said, the audio quality with this one, I know it's gonna be weird, man. I got the truck vibrating because it's too hot to turn it off. But other than that, look, I'm Che McFadden, just Che LLC, Truckers Hustle. There are definitely going to be many more videos like this to come. I just want to make sure that I'm giving y'all facts and giving you things that make sense, and things to help you make sense of what's actually happening in the industry right now. Everybody thinks trucking is glorious and fantastic and fabulous. It's not. I'm gonna be very honest with you. All right, it is what it is. This is what we do, and that's what we're gonna keep on doing, right? Hopefully it gets better, man. But in the meantime, I will catch y'all in the next one. I appreciate you, and I'll see you then. Thank you.
Get it, 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 hey, get it, get it, get it, hey, get it, get it, get it, get it, yeah, get it, get it. On my soul, ain't no letting up.